Say friends, welcome to the first video of my new series, The Viking View, where I go through various Norse-inspired video games to either review, show gameplay of, or make some other type of content with. For those who don't know, I'm a huge Viking nerd, having even been called a Swedaboo, but that's alright because I like to share my passions. On this episode, we're going to be going over a review of Song of Iron, a new game by the one-man developer over at Resting Relic, Mr. Joe himself. We'll be talking about its gameplay, narrative drive on how it uses the idea of losing to create a devotion to being the game, one of the most unexpected plot twists I have ever seen, and how it stands as a Viking game. And just as a heads up, this will be a spoiler-filled review. To start off, let it be known, I have been looking forward to this game for a long time. I first saw it in the post that blew it up about 2 years ago on Reddit, and have been on and off keeping an eye on it. Eventually, this past summer, the demo was announced, and while I was excited, I decided to wait for the full release. I'm glad I did. The game was an absolute blast, and for the hard work of one man, seriously commendable. My biggest complaint, and I say this endearingly, is that I wish it was longer. I was having a blast with it, and I was surprised I beat it after only 3 hours. Don't get me wrong, I get it. Solo projects are hard enough, and creating a long one on top of that is rough. And there was a teaser at the end for more incoming, so I'm sure to get more of a fix. Beyond that, there was one last complaint I really had before I get into the good stuff and take a dive into the narrative style, plot twists, and Vikingness. First, the gameplay was a little flat. There were moments that it felt wonky to use on PC. I'm sure a controller might have felt better, but using keyboard and mouse was very rigid. Though, not a big deal, and after some adjustments I fixed it for the most part, though did have some issues here and there. Additionally, the actual combat felt a little too light, and I wish there was more weight behind it. With the beautiful look of the game, up in the actual gameplay is all it needs, and the gameplay was not bad by any means. Which leads us into the graphics, which I have to commend in this review. The graphics, the scenery, the audio, all were incredible, and I was incredibly immersed in this game. I felt the zones were strong and unique, and I loved the creativity with depth the side-scroller had. Seeing enemies off in the distance during a chase instance filled me with adrenaline as I was constantly looking for more foes to pin me down and destroy me. That's an effect few games have had on me in recent years, and for that alone, Song of Iron has a special place in my heart. So, gameplay, solid. Not the best, not the worst. Graphics and audio, spectacular. How about the narrative? Joe did something interesting, whether intentional or not with this narrative, that resonated with me. Most narratives in video games have too much talk and not enough show. For this story, Joe created a simple idea. Your people were attacked and your loved one dead. You received a powerful amulet that you hope to use to appease the Thor to help you defeat your enemies. That's all it tells. The rest is just shown as you explore the world and get constantly beat. The first few bosses absolutely dumpster you, and you end up instead running away, battered around the world like a heavy bag. Between the first troll, the great Vikings, and being chased by armies, I seriously felt like any moment I would get crushed. I mean, seriously, the hate in my heart I had for Hrothgar after he demolished me until I jumped into the ocean drove me to become stronger. This game absolutely tilted me in the best of ways, and I was determined to power through, get Thor's help, and demolish all goblins and Vikings alike. With a simple twist of the knife in the gut, Joe pushed us in hatred for how much on the run and how weak we were in the beginning. It was honestly a masterclass way of encouraging us in this narrative and wanting to get these powerful abilities. And as we gained more abilities and became stronger and were able to defeat those enemies that crushed us for so long, nothing but joy was felt in my chest. Next, Thor would help us get vengeance, Valhalla be damned. Of course, this is where one of the most ridiculous plot twists in the best of ways hit me like a truck. Last warning for spoilers. Aliens. Fucking aliens. Not Norse gods, but aliens who take you not to Valhalla, but their ship that is Valhalla for you to be trained as an imperial soldier for this galactic empire. Mofos wanted me to become a stormtrooper for Space Thor. I loved it. It all made sense. We thought this whole time we were getting magic, but there were hints of sophistication with ancient runes, of bizarre features, great mechanisms in these tombs that made no sense for the Viking time, small details that made the scenery look more alien than anything. And the actual design of Thor and your armor, I mean, I'm not mad at all by this twist, it all makes sense. Running through the equivalent of the North Death Star, fighting galactic soldiers with their blasters, then picking one up and using it like an axe, is absolute peak video game gameplay. I loved it, to be quite simple. I absolutely adored it. For a view from a Viking, while not the single greatest Viking-inspired game ever, this one is incredibly memorable, and I was satisfied. I truly felt like a lone berserker rising up to godhood. Definitely check it out yourself and keep an eye out on either this DLC or supposed Song of Iron 2. Till next time, farvel.